4 minutes after 7 o'clock, 7:04. Thank you, Heather, for the headlines.
You are welcome, sir.
We have a guest in studio, Paul Harrison, who is running for Calvert County Commissioner. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys this morning. Thank you.
Sure. Glad to have you. Now, let's talk Calvert County, and let's talk why you decided to run for Commissioner of Calvert County.
Well, my goal in running for Commissioner is fair, honest, and lawful government.
Well, you can't have that.
No, it's a tall order, believe me.
It is a tall order.
The motivation was my personal zoning case, but that's settled now. Mm-hmm. We made the best of a bad situation.
So you're the classic. You wanted a stop sign, couldn't get a stop sign, so you said, "Well, I'll run,
right,
and I'll institute change."
Yeah. So, part of it is a little bigger than that. My take on our situation, essentially, the county violated 9 state and federal laws in our case. And I did not think that was appropriate.
No, that's not appropriate.
I'm not the sheriff of the county, but I think that them violating 9 laws, maybe 1 would be okay, but
right.
9 is a little crazy. So what it told me was that either the county doesn't understand what its role is, or that the county just actively tries to stop the competition or small business. So
let's talk about that a little bit, because that's something I hear a lot concerning Calvert County, and that they're anti-growth. They've got a bunch of crazy rules for anybody who wants to do anything. Talk to us a little bit about that. Is there any truth to that?
There is truth to that. The county is not anti all business, but they are anti most business, or conversely, they're pro some business.
Okay. What kind of businesses are they pro?
They like yogurt shops and mattress stores, apparently, because we have lots of those.
Right.
But we don't have
natural gas.
We have natural gas. We have Dominion.
Well,
That's
after
great.
some yogurt, I like a nap.
Right.
So it's a challenge in the county that we need to be pro all business, because right now we don't have a pipeline of business to occupy the storefronts in the malls. If you drive past Solomon's, you look at the mall on the right-hand side, it's about 75% unoccupied.
Right.
We have no pipeline of business. The business starts. It starts small. It starts in a garage. It starts in a living room. It starts with a husband and wife trying to parlay their hobby into some money making foray. The challenge in the county is that they make tiny home business go through special exception, which is illegal unless proven legal, and then big business is given exemption. Dominion, for an example. Dominion is probably the most impactful operation in the entire county to date, exception of the nuclear power plant. But Dominion went through no local zoning review, or the residents. There are 364 homes adjacent to that property. Those folks were not given a chance to weigh in on whether or not they wanted to bring this new use.
Well, that's
to the
not
county.
true, Paul. That's not true. There were public hearings. There was opportunity with not only to speak with the people from Dominion. You said the people didn't have an outlet. I mean, even Steny Hoyer.
Let me clarify.
Please do.
Yeah,
because
let me clarify.
Okay.
Okay. In the special exception process, the county sends a letter to each impacted homeowner. Mm-hmm. Those homeowners are given an opportunity to testify at a hearing. These folk, the meetings that were held were public relations meetings. These were not whether or not the project was going to go forward or not. In the special exception case, if someone comes and testifies against you, that evidence can be used against.
And you're saying that the special exception, there was no hearing.
There was no local zoning review for Dominion. All the commissioners did was exempt that business.
So are you anti-Dominion?
No, I'm not anti-Dominion. I'm not even anti-fracking.
You just don't like the way the process took place.
Level playing field for all business. That's
okay.
right.
I got
That's right. And I don't know of any other businesses in Calvert County that were given a tax exemption to start their business in Calvert County.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Dominion was given a tax exemption called the pilot, payment in lieu of taxes. Mm-hmm. It's valued somewhere between $335 and $500 million. Mm-hmm. So of all those jobs we're bringing to Calvert County, The taxpayers of Calvert County are paying for those jobs to the tune of $125,000 a position for those jobs.
And so, well, what does Calvert County get from Dominion for being a business in Calvert County?
Well, we have the existing tax revenue that comes in from that plan. I think that's about 18.
Which is more than.
Sure, they're one of the
yogurt.
largest, right next to Calvert Cliffs. They're, I think, the largest taxpayer in the county because they have a large asset in the Cove Point facility.
Right.
The challenge is that to do that large project, they added value to that land, about $3.8 billion of value to that land. So their tax payment should have gone up accordingly. But instead, they negotiated, and I don't think it was so much of a negotiation as much as a one-sided, here's what we're going to offer you, Calvert County. They offered the county $40 million up front on project completion around 2017, and in exchange for that $40 million upfront payment, we agreed to exempt them from any tax increase for 9 years. That's how I understand the agreement.
Okay.
I'm not privy to that. The county commissioners signed a gag order, so our elected representatives cannot actually share any information without litigation and legal problems. But the challenge for me is I don't think that elected representatives should be signing gag orders with private corporations. They're elected to represent all people, not just a big corporation.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So we were talking off air, and one of the things you were talking about was, and I had no idea about this, the limit of housing that is available in Calvert County. You guys have like 2,500 rooftops left.
We have, it's. I think we have 32,000 now. We might be a limit at 35,000 rooftops. The challenge is at a population of 100,000. The state's rain tax kicks in.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
so
it's a challenge.
You said Calvert County's at like 92,000 now?
We have 92,000 people now.
So another 8,000 people show up.
Which you'll get from 2,500 homes because you got to consider, 4 people.
Well, the only area...
And Dominion's coming in, so there's going to be a lot of people coming in.
Well, just temporarily, and I think they have... they originally had estimated 93 full-time jobs, but now they're at 75, So
let's say you guys at some point you get to 100,000 homes or people, 100,000 people.
100,000 people.
Right.
Then automatically the rain tax kicks in?
Yeah, I don't know all the details of that legislation, but I know that the trigger is a population of 100,000 people. Essentially, the state designed it so that rural communities stay small because that's not the voting base of the current state legislature.
So and I might be oversimplifying this, but and I'm listening to you. The crux of your campaign is that you want just some parity across how
equality,
equality and parity about how things happen in Calvert County from a job standpoint and a business standpoint, and you feel that doesn't exist now.
Well, it doesn't, and we have 32,000 homes in the county now. We could have an incredible cottage industry without any further exceptions or heavy industry or other things. We don't take advantage of that opportunity. There's a lot of folks that have HVAC companies or plumbing companies or their other hairdressers or whatever it happens to be. These folks could begin their business small in the home if we would make it easier.
And is it a zoning issue? What is it?
It's a zoning issue. The home occupation, personal services, and other things is a use category in the zoning ordinance that they put a special condition or special exception on. So anyone that wants to have a business can't just go down to the permits office and pay their $35 and get their permit. They have to go through a months-long process. They have to go through a Board of Appeals hearing. So my Board of Appeals hearing, it was with Tracy and I. And listen, I just want to say hi to my wife. Hi, honey, I love you. Thank you for listening. The challenge with the Board of Appeals for us was we had an 87-page home business packet application. 87 pages.
Wow.
87 pages.
Because you guys were
because my wife has visiting
weapons-grade
clients.
anthrax.
Well, right, exactly. Well, we have that in a storeroom somewhere, safely stored.
Right.
But the challenge for that is, I when you put that kind of barrier to starting a home business, you're not going to get a bunch of businesses. A lot of folks don't have the energy or the money or the resource, the other time resources to go through that hurdle.
Because they're small business.
Because they're a small business.
They're
That's right.
trying to
That's
run
right.
everything.
Whereas you have a company like Dominion that has a team of analysts, a team of lawyers that is perfectly able to go through and answer those questions about where they are congruent or conflicting in the county's comprehensive plan. We put them through nothing. So
let me ask you about this, Paul. Let me ask you about teachers.
Okay.
Because teachers in Calvert County, they, they're struggling with contracts.
Exactly right.
So, I mean, where do you stand on the side of teachers and teachers' pay and things like that?
I have 3 kids, Paul, Tyler, and Molly, all right now at Huntingtown Elementary. Paul is in 5th grade, Tyler's in 3rd, and Molly's in kindergarten. I think the teachers, particularly there, have been wonderful. I mean, they're perfect partners in educating our children. The challenge, I think, in the county is that the union does not get along with the commissioners so well, or the Board of Education,
which is not uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's an adversarial relationship.
Right.
I think that we should do everything we can to support the teachers. And the teachers, I think, are behind an increase in their pay. I think the bigger issue, too, is, again, there's got to be equity. The sheriff's deputies are behind 7 steps in their pay. The county staff are behind 6 steps in their pay. That creates an unfunded liability in our budget. So we have to come up with about $5 to $7 million a year to be able to fund those people fully. Because what you get after you miss a few step increases is you have a problem with morale.
Yeah. Well, from the commissioners that I've spoken with on this particular subject as it relates to the teachers,
right.
Their big thing is, well, geez, the weight of their pensions have been shifted, a majority of it have been shifted back to the county.
That's right.
Because of the blatant robbery that is happening in Annapolis.
That's right.
Well, there's your adversarial situation right there.
Sure it is.
So the commissioners are immediately going, we can't give anybody raises. We don't know how we're going to pay for this.
Right. So the county pays 58% of the education budget right now, with the state covering, roughly 40. I think they have some grants and other things that cover the rest of it. The challenge in that scenario, and this is why I keep coming back to Dominion, if we had gotten the money that we were due from Dominion, if they had just played by the same rules as everyone else, we would have a few $100 million to play with in the budget, and we would be less beholden to the state or federal money.
I would like to play with a few $100 million.
Sure, I would too.
Sure.
I would too.
That money could have been used as some kind of cost match for Thomas Johnson Bridge rebuilding. I mean, that project has been static at the state level for a long time, and that is a life safety issue for this county.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, you have no southern escape route.
None.
And I tell you what, if you had any event at Solomon's Island on a weekend, that traffic backs up right there.
And run out of gas, have a flat tire, anything on that bridge, and it will shut down a morning commute in
absolutely.
Southern Maryland.
And just like that. And there's just that one escape route. So the only other escape routes we have at 231.
But if you're coming from, let's say,
Solomon's.
the Lusby area, let's say, God forbid, there was a situation at the power plant, you would have to drive by the power plant to get to the other escape route.
Listen, I think we have some very big challenges on egress and emergency preparedness. I think the county health department hands out iodide pills.
Yeah,
I think they'd be better off handing out bottles of whiskey because if something happens, you're going to be sitting. You're pretty much done.
Hey, Paul, we're almost out of time here, but I do want to talk on a personal note. What do you like to do in Calvert County or Southern Maryland? I mean, do you have any hobbies? Besides campaigning and working and doing everything? I mean, what do you like to do in your off time?
The first thing I do is everything possible to make my wife happy.
There you go.
Good man.
Happy wife, happy life.
The second thing I'm very involved with is Cub Scouts.
Great.
I'm the Cub Master of Pack 1806. I'd like to put a plug in. We're having a car wash. We're having a car wash this Saturday from 10 to 2 at St. Nicholas Church on Plum Point Road.
Nice.
I hope you guys will come out. We're just washing cars for donations. It's a great opportunity to teach the kids industry and commerce.
Small business.
Yeah, and
I hope the
So
commissioner.
the county will shut that down.
it's a matter of time,
Right.
believe me. And then also I